guys, welcome to the review. Manchester United. Wait, 1 second. This like victory, love it. Manchester United 1, West Ham United 0. Marcus Rashford with a headed goal in the first half. A very nervy end towards the end of the game. Lots of resilience shown, especially in the last 15 minutes. So many things to break down and discuss. Individual performances as well. Many things. Smash a like on the video if you're happy with that win. And
your mic's gone.
You know him?
Go on, speak again. Okay, yeah, you're good. Hold on, I can't hear anything now. You keep talking, Nick, and then I'll sort it out. Nick, let me just restart. Let me restart.
review today. On the review, sorry, we have Mr. Sam McCabe. What did you make of that, Sam?
Sorry, I'm all over the place because of the technical issues. It's done my head in. So I'm just checking that I've got audio levels on the stream. Let me just double check.
Yeah, the last thing you want to be doing is giving analysis if it's just completely muted.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was a nervy game. It was a frustrating game at points. I thought the passing was abysmal a lot of the time. The attack just didn't seem to exist. Rashford aside, lots of creative players just weren't firing. Like Langer didn't do much. Ronaldo, we'll get onto him, I'm sure. Eriksen seemed to be misplacing a couple of passes at times as well. Bruno, again, quiet. But I think the shining light was our defence today. I thought Martinez, Dalot, Shaw and De Gea were really, really good and saved us from a 1-1 draw, pretty much.
And that's exactly where we're going to start, of course, from back to forward, unlike Adam in his team predictions, where he starts with a striker. We're going to start off with the goalkeeper and the defence. David De Gea today, Sam, I've said it many a times on the channel, and we've scrutinised him, criticised him for his all-around game, the little intricates in a modern goalkeeper with a distribution, commanding of his box, etc. But in terms of a pure goalkeeping ability today, some of the stops he made, there was one from Declan Rice where he smashed it from outside the box, got a great hand to it near the top corner. There was a glancing header, I can't remember what West Ham player it was, but it was a glancing header from one of them where he just like tips it onto the post, which is another amazing. And there's probably more that I can't remember off the top of my head. Is he still one of the best keepers in the league for you? When you see a performance like that, what comes into mind?
I think we've never questioned his shot stopping, have we? We've always said shot stopping. He's one of the best players in the league. Like he's phenomenally good. He's scarily good at it. He's got the reflexes of a cat, and he seems to pull off saves out of nowhere, and he's able to do it consistently. So that's never been an issue for me. What has been an issue for me has been his distribution, which is what you need from a modern keeper. His sweeping, all that kind of stuff that you want from a modern keeper. That's always been an issue. And again, on display together, his distribution was shocking. Straight to the West Ham player every single time. He did a couple of sweep things that were good. I think it was Ben Rama was in on goal and he came out swept up because somebody missed it. So he did a little bit, but again, he's not all the way there yet. I still think his distribution can be massively improved, because it's absolutely abysmal at the minute. But his shot stopping has never been in question for me. He's been one of the best shot stoppers on the planet for a long time, and today is just another sort of proof of that.
Been a lot of talk about his contract recently as well. I think he's got one more year after this season, and United are trying to decide whether to extend it or not. It certainly seems like he's playing for his contract anyway, and he wants that extension. And apparently he's willing to take a wage cut as well, so we'll see what happens with David De Gea. He's putting in solid performances at the minute. I'm just watching David Moyes. He's obviously a former manager of his, giving him a hug and praising him. So David's had a great game today. Moving on to the back four, which is the one in the spotlight for me, who had a really, really good performance today, collectively and individually. Amazing defensive display tonight, and one stat to back that up is 8 hours of football since we last conceded a goal at Old Trafford, and Manchester United have kept 3 consecutive home clean sheets for the first time since June 2020. Call it a Ten Hag effect, call it whatever you want. But the first one I want to start off in the back line, Diego Dalot. I mean, I spoke about him before the match kicked off because he did an interview with Time Sport talking about his development since he's been here at United, what he's had to go through, his loan spell, etc. Today, obviously he's been great for the past few weeks, but today some crucial interventions. Gary Neville was just absolutely raving about him because some of the clearances he had at the back post from Antonio, the likes of these kind of people, like physical monsters. Yeah. And he's normally associated in some with his attacking ability, but I thought defensively today he was absolutely flawless.
Yeah, some of the interceptions and the headers he put in were nothing short of amazing. Like, his performance was fantastic, and that's always been the side of his game where we've gone, yeah, his forward play is really good, his crossing, all that sort of stuff. If he can just shore up his defensive side, it'll be a quality right back. It'll be really good, and if he can pull off displays like that all the time, he's well on his way, and there's a reason why Wan-Bissaka's not been seen or heard anywhere near his team, because when you've got Dalot, like, you're not gonna, if you drop him, you just lose that entire side, that right hand side, in terms of attack and the defensive display you put in today. But yeah, some of those headers out jumping everybody, like you said, including Antonio, including Scamacca at times, who's an absolute unit. I will get onto Lisandro Martinez doing the same thing as well. Yeah, I thought he was phenomenal, and he just keeps improving under Ten Hag. He just keeps getting better and better, and I hope long may it continue. I hope, again, another player who's out of contract in the summer, so hopefully he signs a new deal, because I think he'd be good to have around, whether he's the first choice and he improves to the point where I don't think he'll ever get to the Cancelo level, but if he can get to the point where he's like somewhere near that, then he's our first choice right back, and we're bringing a backup to compete with him, much like Malacia is doing with Shaw, who we'll get onto as well. But yeah, he was fantastic today. I think him or Martinez were my man of the match. It's one of them two. They were both fantastic.
Yeah, Diego Dalot was really, really good today. And just looking how far he's come, to think he couldn't even get a game under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is absolutely mental now, when you see the difference in how they're both playing. One concern for me, though, is if he goes off to the World Cup and gets an injury, or gets an injury within the next couple of games, because he started 23 in a row. Yep. Is that right?
Yep.
That is a major, major concern, isn't it?
He's young, though, is he? What is he, 25? 24?
Younger. It's like 23, Dalot.
Is he 23? Mm-hmm. So I think when you're that young, you can play a lot of games. I think you can just continue to churn them out. I think when you get older, it starts to catch up with you. But yeah, we've said all season, if he's played every game, and if he gets injured, we're back to Wan-Bissaka, and that's a worrying sign. I think Malacia played right back when he came off against Sheriff. I think he switched over, so at least we've got an option there if he does get injured. Like, we're not like bare bones where we've got nobody. Malacia can play there, and he did decently well. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of players like that go to the World Cup. Rashford, Shaw. There's going to be a few players there, Casemiro, Eriksen, who go to the World Cup, and if they get injured, we're in a dark spot, because they're all your best players, all your most creative players, and then we're back to what we were playing like under Ollie with McFred, Maguire, Lindelof. You know what I mean? It's going to be dark times. So hopefully nobody gets injured at this World Cup. Hopefully everybody stays fit. But yeah, he's played a lot of games, which is concerning.
Well, you mentioned Harry Maguire there, one player who's had his first start in God knows how long. Can't remember the last Premier League game he started, at least anyway. He made a few odd decisions during the game, a few straight passes. Some people going in a lot more on him than I felt like they should have. I thought it was just, there was a couple of... I think there was a lot of players on the team who made straight passes that you touched on before. But then again, towards the end, I don't think he was amazing, but there was some vital blocks in there, some vital headers. Can you see the confidence starting to get back into him now? Because again, for his standards, how he's been, I thought he was average today, but that's an improvement on how he has been playing, in my personal opinion. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, what he's always been good at is his blocks, and he's good, even though he sort of lumbers, normally he's a very good on the ball passer. He's normally quite good at that. There was a couple of, like you said today, that went a bit astray. But like you said, first game fully back, so it's to be expected. Some really good interceptions and blocks, which is what you expect from him. He's a big guy. He can put his body on the line. That's what you expect. I still don't think he should be starting for Man United week in, week out. I don't think he's again, he was playing on the right-hand side, which apparently he prefers the left-hand side. That's the side he prefers, but I don't want to see him and Shaw on that left-hand side ever again.
Do you think he's better on the right-hand side, or do you think he's better on the left-hand side?
I don't think he's good enough for Man United, personally. So
no, but if you was to play him, like just in hypothetical, if you was to play him, would you play him on the left?
I'd play him on the right-hand side, because Lisandro Martinez is so effective on that left-hand side. So by default, he ends up on the right-hand side for me. But I just think he's not good of Man United, personally. We'll get on to Shaw in a minute, who's another player who's up in the air for me in a minute. But yeah, he wasn't that bad, but he wasn't phenomenal by any means. Did some good stuff, especially at the end, like you said. But yeah, it's an all right performance, considering it's his first full game back. It's an okay performance. I want to see better from him. I want to see a lot better from him, especially after last season. He needs to properly step up and prove that he's still a decent centre back, because last season everybody was like, get out of our club because it was an awful season. So yeah, I want to see better from him, but it's an all right start. It's an okay.
I'd agree with that assessment. And his partner, Sam, how fucking good is Lisandro Martinez, by the way? He has everything you want in a defender. And as well as his attributes on the field, his attributes, like mental attributes and that warrior spirit, it's just rubbing off on all the players seem to love him. Yeah. Just love playing with him. I've got some stats that I want to mention, and then I'll get your thoughts on him. So, 92% pass accuracy, 79 touches, 58 passes completed, 4 out of 4 ground duels won, 4 blocks, 3 ball recoveries, 3 out of 4 aerial duels won. That's against the likes of Scamacca, Antonio, Dawson, these kind of guys who were great in the air. 3 clearances and 2 tackles won. He has been, what a fucking signing he has been. Honestly, just talk to me about Lisandro, man.
I think, was it Severe or yourself who started a show? I'm so glad we got him instead of Timber. So glad. Because Timber's having a mad of it at the minute at Ajax. Like, he's having a bad fucking season. But Lisandro Martinez, like I said, shithouser in abundance. Check. I think I put that video in the group where Anthony shoulder bumps Jorginho and then Martinez comes up to him, bumps into him, and knocks him over. I fucking love that. Absolutely love that. He's a warrior, like you said, puts his body on the line. He put his head straight in front of Scamacca's foot and got his head kicked off for the fuck of it. So he's an absolute warrior. And then his defensive capability is fantastic, like you said, all those interceptions and the aerial clearances. Everyone's going, oh, he's 5'9". Well, he's got one of the best aerial duel percentages in the league. He's got one of the best clearance records in the league, and he's 5'9". And he's on some of his passing again today. I think he was the only one who consistently made really good passes and completed passes. Everybody else was like dodgy at best. He was phenomenal, and I don't see the only way he comes out of the team is if he gets knocked unconscious. I think there's no way he's giving up that spot like without a fight. Like, you're gonna have to knock him out to take him out of that team. He's been absolutely fantastic, and I hope next season we reassess this captain situation, because for me he's up there. He's a candidate for captaincy for me.
I've been calling him the captain without the armband, mate. Honestly, I've been saying it for ages, for a long while now. Even since he's come in, he's just got that everything you want: consistency, ability, mentality, everything you want in a captain. I think he should be, to be honest, because I think Bruno lacks certain things in that aspect. Moving on to Luke Shaw, solid again. Can he do this now at a sustained? Well, you might have a different opinion on his performance, but I thought he was solid again. Can he do this now at a sustained level? And is Shawberto slowly coming back?
Going forward, he's phenomenal. I think going forward, he's one of the best sort of left backs there is at the minute. He's some of his crossing, like the cross Sheriff that got the goal, was fantastic. His ball progression and his eye for goal is always there. He's always heading for him. His positioning again today, I've said it so many times, his position was off again because he likes to go forward so much and he doesn't like to track back as quickly as he should, as like Dalot does. There was big gaps left at the left back, and Martinez was having to fill in quite a lot of the time. I think Dalot ended up on the left at one point as well, filling in for him. That's what bothers me about Shaw. I think if he can sort out I don't know if it's lack of concentration or he's so confident that it's going to be covered by Martinez or Casemiro or somebody like that, that he doesn't worry about it as much. I don't know what it is. But his positioning defensively lets him down a couple of times, and like I said, lack of concentration and stuff like that. So, but going forward, absolutely fantastic. But going defensively, I think he still needs to work on quite a lot of stuff, and hopefully Ten Hag is working with him to sort of bring that back. But other than that, I thought he was good.
Yeah, for me, I think there was the odd time where I saw him out of position, and Jared Bowen or whoever it was on that right hand side would get forward. That Kera, I think he was called, the right back for them. But I think overall, I thought he was fantastic today, mate. I thought he was really good, especially that first half. Slightly dropped off towards the end, you could imagine, with fatigue and the physical players at West Ham. But yeah, overall, I was relatively impressed with him. But there are still things, I agree, still a few cobwebs that he needs to dust off defensively.
Comment from Adam, bit like me when you mention him, solid as always. There you go.
Yeah. You can always rely on Adam for the humour, can't you? Yeah. Midfield looked good again, Sam. Casemiro, one who I thought solid in the first half, showed why he's vitally important to that midfield. Like, I was just praising him in that first half with the anchor to the midfield. Like, it gives Bruno and Eriksen so much stability to go forward, play between the lines, sit in them pockets and create. Look, we don't have to spend all day talking about Casemiro because we've been praising him a lot, but it was just, it's another solid performance again for him today, wasn't it?
He's really good. Like, he's slowly becoming the sort of linchpin of that team. He's just going about doing his job, intercepting, tackling people, breaking play up, making some really good passing, gets forward when he needs to, sits back when he has to. Yeah, there's a reason why he's won 5 Champions Leagues and God knows how many La Ligas, and why he's cost us 70 million, because he's a phenomenal player. And yeah, long may it continue because he's great.
There was loads of times in the game where he was in a tight spot, and I've seen these idiots on Twitter and stuff criticising him, saying he's not press resistant and he gets the ball nicked off him too many times. But I've seen so many times in that game where he's just played a little pass around the corner first time, which I've never seen McTominay or any of these guys kind of do. I've seen him spray long passes. I've seen him link up, like combination play. Like, I just think he's solid. And I think when you've had to endure McTominay and Fred in the midfield for however long we did, and then Casemiro comes in, he just looks like fucking completely different, man.
We were crying out for a DM for what, like 3 years, 2 years? Like, it was just...
You never mentioned it.
No, we never mentioned it on this show, ever. Like, it was just... So, like, everybody could see it. Like, United fans could see it. Every other team fans could see it. The referees could see it. Like, it was just a fucking gaping hole in the massive, like, in our midfield. And we just didn't do anything about it since what, Michael Carrick, probably?
Yeah.
Last time we had, and it was just like, oh, we'll make do with Fred and McTominay, and we just got absolutely asses handed on to play every fucking week. When anytime somebody had some sort of a strong midfield, you put one player in there in Casemiro and changes the entire spectrum of it. Absolutely ridiculous player. And yeah, again, another one we can't afford to lose. That's hopefully another guy who doesn't get injured at the World Cup, because we can't afford to lose him.
That's all it takes, one injury, innit? I'm crossing my fingers, crossing my toes. A lot of people come back fit from the World Cup. Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes, I mentioned in the pockets of space, creating. We saw that for the Marcus Rashford goal. What an absolute cross that is by Christian Eriksen, by the way.
Fantastic.
He puts it on an absolute plate. I thought Eriksen individually faded a little bit near the 60th minute, which is probably why he got taken off. We know he struggles at times physically. And then Bruno Fernandes on the other side will miss the Aston Villa game due to yellow cards. Do you think this could be a chance now for a Donny van de Beek to start to push into the team?
If there was going to be an opportunity, it'd be now, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
If Eriksen is tiring, because Eriksen's played a fucking lot of football, a lot of football. Like, he started. I think he started every game, maybe bar one. I think one game he hasn't started, and he was ill, wasn't he? Two, because he was ill, and then he wasn't quite well enough to start, wasn't he, in the next one? So he's played a lot of football, and like you said, Bruno's suspended, so might be the perfect time in one of those positions. Stick Donny in if he's fit. Let's have a look at him. Let's see, because if he comes in, that's like another signing for our midfield. That if he's able to play 10, 11 games, 12 games, whatever it is for the rest of the season, start him, and then maybe have 5 or 6 substitute appearances. That's ideal. That's what we need. But give him an opportunity. I'd like to see him. I thought he was bright against Sheriff, the sort of small cameo he had. But let's give him some more minutes and see what he's like. In terms of Eriksen, I thought he faded after like 60 minutes. His passes started going astray, which is not like him, and then you could tell that he was tired. Bruno, again, not fantastic, but he was all right. He was decent. But I expect better of Bruno. I've seen better performance out of him, and I don't know what it is. It just seems to be very inconsistent at the minute. It's ups and downs a lot with Bruno.
He's up and down in the game as well, though, isn't it? Because he does some fantastic things, and he does some things you're just like, what are you doing? So he makes silly decisions. He needs to iron that out of his game, because I feel like if someone like Donny van de Beek came in, who's obviously been a player under Ten Hag before, and starts performing, he could easily lose his place. Yeah, well, that's what it's all about, though, isn't it? Like, competition for places. Oh, yeah. Donny comes in and plays better than you and steals your spot. You got no argument. He's played better. Same with like Shaw and Malacia. We've seen it. Shaw and Malacia. One of them was shite, so Malacia came in. Malacia dropped off. Shaw's come in. He took his spot and he's playing well. So that's what happens. You've got to have competition for places, and that's where the best teams will win trophies, because you've got a full squad. Competition for places. Nobody's sure of any of their positions because you got to play well week in, week out. So hopefully
Donny can take his opportunity if and when it comes against Villa.
Yeah, if I'm Donny van de Beek right now, I am licking my lips at the opportunity to get into the squad. Moving on to the attack line, Marcus Rashford. Sam scored his 100th club goal for Manchester United. Great header again. Scored a header against Sheriff. I think that's the first.
What a header that was as well, by the way.
Yeah, I think yes. You seen a thing before that said first time in 4 years he scored 2 headers or something ridiculous like that. What did you make of his performance?
It was good, decent. Like I said, he outjumped the I don't know, I can't remember what the West Ham defender it was that he was against when he jumped. Outjumped him by an absolute mile.
I think it was that Kera again, the right back.
Yeah, outjumped him by a mile. Powerful neck, like muscle into it, and like straight at the back of the net. Fantastic goal. I thought he was bright at times, made some really good runs, was running at people, which I've been crying out for fucking ever for Rashford. Yeah. I think that's where he's at his best on the left. I've said it for like weeks on end. Like, this is his best position, and I think that was an example today. Not as in full flow as he has been, but like there was some great examples of it in there. I thought that's his best position. That's where he needs to play. And yeah, great goal as well to top it off. I think, is he our top scorer now, Rashford? Yeah. So hopefully long may it continue, because I think he's on a good run of form at the minute. So let's keep it going.
Yeah, and he was important. He put in a good performance today, because obviously he was missing Anthony as well from the starting lineup. Had a little knock in training or whatever it was, and Elanga again.
So poor.
I don't know if he was poor or if he was just ineffective. Like I didn't feel like he was involved in the game a lot. He had a few odd runs, but again we said at the start of the game, didn't we, that he's very one-dimensional. He's very limited in terms of what he does. Why do you think he went with Elanga over Sancho? Because a lot of people were saying beforehand, "Oh well, trust the manager." You know, and I do back the manager. Don't get it wrong, but why wouldn't you go for Sancho on that right hand side?
I think because Ten Hag plays in form, and the last time Elanga came on, who was it again? Was it
Chelsea?
Chelsea, yeah. He played well, didn't he? He played all right when he came on. He played decent. And Sancho has been very, very poor the last couple of games. I thought he's been one of our worst players, Sancho. Yeah, I think he's been very, very poor. And Ten Hag plays guys on form. So Sancho's out of form. Elanga had a good cameo when he came on. So I think that's what Ten Hag was thinking. I personally would have put Garnacho in there, but I think Ten Hag's still trying to bleed him in slowly. He's not trying to put too much on him too soon, which is understandable. Elanga's had a whole season in the first team, so he's a bit more used to it. But for me, that's what I would have done. But Ten Hag's maybe thinking he's in form, Sancho's not in form. We need somebody to play on the right because Anthony's out. So I think that's where his decision making came down to. I just don't think Elanga's United quality. I think we would have seen it by now.
Sorry, I've just looked up at the screen and Gary Neville's got Louis Saha's glasses and cap on. He looks like a proper old white dad, honestly. The last player I want to touch on, we have to discuss this. A lot of comments about Cristiano Ronaldo in the comments section. I don't know where to start with him, because he had his opportunities. It's not like it was a graveyard shift and he didn't get anything created for him. He had good opportunities. 4
or 5 opportunities at least. Like, good.
Are we seeing more and more the decline of Cristiano Ronaldo now?
I think he's done. I think it's over. Like, the Ronaldo hope that he was going to come back to something resembling what we saw last season, I think it's over. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he still has a part to play. He can play a bit part, substitution when we need a goal, last 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. Play in the Europa League games that are like inconsequential when we're already like, say, goals up in the previous leg or something like that. I think he can still be a part of the squad, which is what I would want to see from him if he's not going to leave in January. If he is going to leave in January, sit on the bench, mate. I don't give a shit. But if you're going to stay till the end of your contract, play your part in the team, which is what I think Ten Hag's going to play. I think had Sancho been in form and had he had Martial available to him, I don't think Elanga or Ronaldo start today. I think both of them are on the bench. I think he played him because he wanted to play Rashford on the left. And I think that's what he wanted to. He didn't want to play Rashford down the middle because he had no right wing option. So I think that's what happened. But for me, he's over. His timing's off. It's really off. Yeah. His speed, like his instincts, his killer instinct to shoot and do stuff, he'd hesitate. Normally Ronaldo just gets the ball and he smashes it. in the back of the net. He was hesitating. And then, yeah, like they said, the opportunities, there was a header, which was a poor header. There's another one where if he cuts it across the 6-yard box, you've got Bruno and I can't remember who else. I think it might have been Ericsson or across the box. You cut that across, that's 2-0. Game over, done. And he smashes it wide. And it's just, yeah, it's frustrating. I just don't think he's not the same guy he was. And everyone's saying, oh, but he did this last year. So age can come at you at any point. You could be fine for ages, and then at some point it'll just happen. And it's unfortunate, but it happens to everybody. It happens to all of us. So for me, he needs to be a squad player at this point if he's going to stay. If he wants to leave, then see you later, sayonara, what have you. But for me, yeah, it just showed the decline of Cristiano Ronaldo. And it's very sad. It's very sad. But much like Sevilla, I'm a massive fan of Ronaldo for what he did when he was first here. I got caught up in the sort of hype of him coming home and then the Newcastle game. But yeah, it wasn't what Ollie wanted. We got him because he was going to City, and then we were forced to sort of jam him into the team, like a square peg into a round hole, jam him into the team. That didn't work, and we had to play everything through him, which is why he scored as many goals as he did in a terrible season. And Ten Hag clearly wants to play a different way, as we've seen with Martial, Rashford. So I just think it's not going to work out for us in the way that we want it to. I think it's going to end in tears no matter what. So we might as well just sort of save ourselves the pain right now and just accept how things are. But that's just my opinion. I don't know what your opinion is, but
one thing that disappointed me was the fact he looked really upset, but we just won a game. Like, we just saw out a game.
It's about him. If he doesn't score, he's not happy because it's about him. And that's why he became the best player in the world, because it's just about him, his goals, how he plays, what he does, his nutrition, his training, blah, blah, blah. It's about him, and that's how you become the best player in the world. When you're a bit part player, or when you're seen as a bit part player, you have to be about the team. And he's not used to that. He's never been about that. And this is the first time he's having to get to grips with it. And players either get to grips with it, or they throw the toys out the pram and they end up leaving. And he's thrown his toys out the pram twice this season already. Yeah, I think I know where it's going. So
it's like mentally, he still sees himself as the best in the world, which you have every right to. But physically, his body's just not meeting that demand whatsoever.
No.
So yeah, I do think when Martial is back, whenever he is, I don't. He's supposed to be back for this game, but then it was the game before.
Don't know.
His injuries are really frustrating, and obviously we know that number 9 position is a position he's addressing. So let's see what happens with that as well. In summary, very important win. 3 points behind Spurs in 3rd place with a game in hand.
Yep.
Are you confident now going into these next few fixtures before the World Cup we can put the rest of the teams to the sword and cement a place?
The performance worries me. The performance wasn't great today by any means, but it is a sign of sort of champion material that you can play poor and still get the 3 points and get the win. Yeah. That's important. For United at this point, if we're getting 3 points, fantastic. And then we can see progression in the way we're playing, in the way we're setting the team up, which we can, because we've seen the improvement of people like Dalot, we've seen the improvement of people like Rashford, and then we've seen the integration of new players like Ericsson, Lisandro Martinez and stuff like that. So we can see progression. We're getting the win, which is important. And like I said, this season, it's going to be like this. It's going to be ups and downs. We're going to have days like Spurs where we look like world beaters, and then we have games like today where we just scrape by, but we get the 3 points. And then we're going to have games like Newcastle where we can't score. So it's going to be one of those seasons because it's a new manager, new way of playing, new players, getting his system together, all that sort of stuff. So just expect more of these results. Don't expect Spurs results too often. You got to expect more. Yeah, you got to expect more of this. And I'm fine with that if we're progressing. If Ten Hag somehow gets top 4, that's a success in my eyes. If he gets top 4, I don't expect it. I don't think we will.
Yeah, judging off last season, at least, anyway.
If we don't, I'm fine with that. 5th, that's what I expect really. But if we get top 4 out of this, then he's done very, very well. Ten Hag, very, very well.
Yeah, it feels like the Ten Hag cogs are in motion. Anyway, certainly. I feel, judged from last season, for how diabolical we were getting top 4.
It's night and day. Night and day.
So far away, but I do still think there would be bumps along the road. I think will probably get an injury to a key player.
Yep.
And you will see the drop off when that happens, just because of the fixture list, the congestion,
lack of squad depth
the
as
World
well.
Cup, lack of squad depth.
We haven't got it.
I just see it happening, especially over December as well when we return to Boxing Day. I can just foresee it happening. I obviously hope it doesn't, but
it's like the last game is Fulham, and then I think it's literally 4 or 5 days, and then they're at the World Cup.
Yeah.
And then after they finish the World Cup, it's 4 or 5 days, and they're back in the Premier League.
Just very quickly on that, give us just quick fire answers if you can on who you think will go to the World Cup, or who you don't think will go. Let's say
Sancho isn't going. He's not going to go. I think David De Gea is not going, is he? He's already been said he's not going. Dallow's going to go. Shaw's going to go. Maguire's going to go. He shouldn't, but he's going to.
Yeah.
Martinez will obviously go. Varane's a doubt, isn't it? We don't know whether he's going to go.
I think he might be out for the first game, but I still think the Champs will probably take him.
Yeah, even though they've got God knows how many centre-backs in France.
What about Rashford, Sam?
In this current form, he's going. I think he's
playing
going.
Himself onto the plane,
I think he's playing himself in there. Casemiro will obviously go. Eriksen will go because he's the star of Denmark.
Yeah.
Bruno will go. Is Sweden in it?
Yeah.
So
I think Elanga might go.
He'd be in the squad. I don't know if he starts, but I think he might.
Kuleska for Tottenham still injured. So I'm not sure
he might go. Who else am I missing?
Ronaldo, of course.
Ronaldo's of course goes. Scott McTominay's not in it. Scotland are not in it. Sorry, Scottish people.
Not sorry.
Fred will go because he plays that. Casemiro's his partner for Brazil, so he'll go. It's quite a lot of players, to be fair. It's like 9, 10 of the first team. So it's quite a lot.
Donny's obviously not going, so I think basically what Ten Hag will be left with whilst everyone's at the World Cup is Donny, the young players, and Jadon Sancho.
David De Gea.
And David De Gea as well, in fairness. Going to be interesting, definitely. Sociedad next on Thursday night, is it? I believe.
Yep.
Another massive away game.
5:45 kickoff though, annoyingly. Really annoying.
Is it a 5:45? Yeah. I wasn't aware of that.
So annoying.
At all. How important will this win be in particular going into that game, Sam?
Yeah, it's good. 3 points, Premier League, working our way up the table. Like you said, we've got a game in hand. Spurs are 50-50 at the minute. Like, they looked poor against us, and then they looked poor again, but then they looked poor in the first half against Bournemouth, but then ended up pulling it back.
Yeah.
And managed to win, so...
Well, we almost had Liverpool, Chelsea, and Spurs all drop points, didn't we? So, this weekend could have been a full shebang, and City only won 1-0 as well.
City were lucky with their win. So important. Sociedad, I think it's going to be a dire game. That's going to be horrific. It's not
the first one was, wasn't it?
It's not going to be
the first game.
It's not going to be Atletico Madrid levels, but it's going to be close to it. I think it's not going to be a fun game to watch. And obviously, we have to score two goals, don't we? Minimum to go through. And without
which we haven't done a lot recently. Yeah. It's very 1-0-ish.
So it'll be tough. It'll be a tough game, but I've got faith that we can pull through it. If not, let's hope we get Ajax and we get to do a real Reds away trip because I'm up for that. That's the only good news comes out of it. If we don't win, let's get an Ajax trip out of it. Yeah,
there's always a silver lining. Yeah. Always a silver lining. Let's do the ratings. Obviously, we don't have to dive into the players' performance individually. We've always been through all. I can't fucking speak, man. I've been on for so long. We've already been through that, Sam. So let's start with David De Gea. I think he gets 7.5 from me. Some of them saves were outrageous.
He was going to get 6 for me because his distribution and stuff like that. And then the last 10 minutes, he just absolutely turned it on and was just ridiculous. So I'd 7.5. I agree with you because the saves just put him over that. Give him that 1.5 because I thought they were absolutely insane.
Yeah, I'd give Diego Dallo a same rating as well. I think 7.5. Fantastic. Unreal again today. I'd
give him an 8. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. The defensive headers, the forward play, the interceptions, all that sort of stuff. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. 8 for me. I thought he was great.
And for Maguire, I would have given him a 6.5, slightly better than average. But for some of the misplaced passes, there was a few slips in there as well. I'd just give an average for today. I wouldn't give him below. I wouldn't give him above. I'd say 6.
I'd give him a 6.5 just because for the blocks that he put in at the end. I thought he did well with that. I thought up until that point, he was a 6. He was an average. He didn't do anything amazing, but he wasn't poor in any means. But those blocks, putting himself on the line and stuff like that were good. So he gets the half point for that.
Yeah. Lisandro Martinez, my man of the match. I thought
Amazing.
he was fucking incredible again. What a signing he has been, man. I can't sing his praises enough. And I'd give him an 8.5. I thought he was the best player on the pitch.
Yeah, for me, him or Dallo were man of the match. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. Put his body on the line. Shithousery, defensive, passing, everything was on point today. And it just goes to show you that all we were missing in that defensive line was somebody of that calibre and that quality. And look what he's done. It's transformed our defence. Like, we're one of the hardest teams to score against now. Like, it's so difficult to get through our defensive line because of him. Obviously, and Varane as well. But him especially, it's just been absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, my man of the match as well. He's absolutely fantastic.
And you know what as well? This is credit to how good he actually is, because whenever we put Varane next to Maguire, you would see his weaknesses when we played him there. But Lisandro just looks flawless. Whoever you put next to him, he's had 3 centre-back partnerships this season, and he's just looked incredible in every single game. So he's my man of the match, 100%. Let me know in the comment section, guys, whoever's watching now, watching later. Yeah, who your man of the match was for today's game. Shawberto, I'm not going to call him Shawberto yet. It's not back there just yet. He's getting there. He's getting better. He's improved. Not a mega. You know what? I would go with it. I know what you're going to say, but I would go with a 7. I thought he was really good today. There was obviously the odd times where he was out of position a little bit, but I thought overall he was solid, proactive, getting forward, putting good tackles in, reading the game really well. So I'd give him a 7.
What did you think I was going to say?
I thought, to be fair, I was going to go with 7.5, so I thought you might go with 6.5, 7. That's what I thought you might have gone with. I think,
yeah, I'll go with 7 because, like you said, the defensive frailty still worry me a bit, but going forward, it can't be denied. Like, he's very, very good going forward, and his crossing is on point. So yeah, he gets the 7 for me for that. If he could sort out his defensive capabilities and his positioning, we're on to a winner, because Dallo's is in absolutely flying form, and if Shaw can sort a defensive thing, that's a fantastic part, wing back sort of like role going on there. So yeah, 7 for me.
Malacia's not a backup either.
Nope.
If you want to bring him in. Casemiro, another solid again. I'd rate him similar to Luke Shaw. I thought he was really good in the first half, but then dropped off slightly. I'd give him a 7, maybe even 7.5 push.
Yeah, I'd give him 7.5. Casemiro was Zoe's media house man of the match, so another good pick. I thought, solid. Some really good defensive displays, interceptions, breaking up play, good passing. Just doing what Casemiro does best, really. Absolutely. On point. Yeah,
7.5 we'll go with them for Casemiro. Christian Eriksen, should we just give Eriksen and Bruno similar rate? Because I thought, Eriksen got the assist, in fairness to him. I'll give Eriksen a 7, and I'd give Bruno a 6. I thought 6.5 probably. Just a little bit better than average.
I agree with that. I thought Eriksen gets a 7 for the assist because it was so good. Such a good pass, that.
And you were saying in the chat as well, when he was like, put crosses into the fucking box. Put crosses in.
Can we just talk? I'll mention it now because it's fucking infuriating me. Short corners. Stop it.
Okay.
Stop doing fucking short corners. It's doing my fucking head in. Because we do nothing with it. Do the short corner, it goes round the box, and then we lose possession, it fucks off. Every time.
Can I offer...
One sec. Every time we've put a ball in the box, we've created a chance. The Rashford one, the Shaw one that he did for Sheriff, created chances. Ronaldo's chance as well. Every time we put a cross in, we look dangerous, and especially against somebody like West Ham, who play with like a really sort of compact thing. You're not getting through the middle of that. It just doesn't work. Use your width. They're quite narrow. Use your width and get the balls in. I don't understand why we didn't do that more, because I thought we were really effective, but that's just my opinion.
The thesis, if you want to call it, I had for it was Ten Hag has looked at this set piece situation. We remember the stats that we had last season and the season beforehand, where it was like 150 corners and we scored 1 or something. So he's obviously, I think he's looked at that and thought, right, what can we do to kind of manipulate that to change it or whatever. And I think we've got good creative players in Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes, who can whip a ball in. Same with Luke Shaw on that left-hand side. Let's try play it short. Let's see what we can get from it. Maybe he has to go back to the drawing board when he gets back in the dressing room. Like, right, that hasn't worked. Maybe try it this way, etc. But I don't have an issue with him trying it.
That is fact. like I said, try it, and if it don't work, and he chucks it. Fair enough. It's the same with the substitutions. The substitution really annoyed me. That just putting 3 defensive midfielders on all in one go is just, you ended up with Fred, Casemiro, and fucking McTominay in your midfield.
Yeah, McTominay wasn't great when he came
on. Hold it on for 1-0. It's just that's not a tactical decision I would have made. Obviously, he's took Elanga off, which I agreed with. Elanga needs to come off, but then he put Scott McTominay on. Why not put a Palestri on? Why not put a Garnacho on? Put somebody on who's going to create something. But he seemed to he was settling for the 1-0, which you saw what happened at the end there. It was just nerve wracking and just almost cost us. And it's just decisions like that I sort of question sometimes. But I believe in the manager. It's worked out. We've got the 3 points.
Yeah,
that's what matters.
That's the main thing.
But yeah, the substitutions in the short corners are kind of annoyed me.
I did think he brought McTominay on for the height though in the box, because he was kind of anticipating, West Ham putting the pace on, going for the set pieces. So I didn't mind him physically, but he weren't great when he came on, McTominay. He did a similar thing against Chelsea as well. Didn't he? Made quite negative substitutions, but ultimately, if you get the result, it kind of pays off.
Fine.
Yeah. Who do we go to next? Elanga, do we need to stick? 5, yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Wasn't effective.
Didn't do anything.
Wasn't effective. Didn't create anything. Didn't do much of anything. It was just, for me, just very poor 5.
Yeah.
We'll do 5. We'll do 5. We'll do 5.5 because you did 6.
Okay.
We'll go 5.5.
Okay. Yeah, I was scratching my head slightly when we saw him in the lineup, but it is what it is. Marcus Rashford obviously got the goal, the very important goal, which got us 3 points. Had an overall really good performance. I'd give him probably 7.5. I don't know. I'll leave that one to you.
Yeah.
I'd go with 7 or 7.5.
I'd go with 7.5. I think he's really decent, effective in what he did. I think left wing's his best position by far. Great goal, really good header. Made some decent runs, made some good dribbling. Got a couple of chances, could have scored some more goals. But yeah, I thought he was really good. 7.5. He was the best one of our forward line anyway, by a long way. So
yeah, and that leaves us with the greatest of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo. He's not performing like the greatest of all time at the minute. Way off the pace. We said it at the start of the show. I can't give him below a 6 because I don't think he was that bad. I don't think he was Elanga bad, but I don't think he was at the races. I just don't. He didn't have his finishing boots on. Was linking up play okay, had certain bits of time, but a lot of times I want him in the box when we're putting these crossings. I want him in there, and he's dropping outside, trying to link up play. I get what he's trying to do, but I don't believe he has the mobility to do the Anthony Martial job.
Stay in the box.
He can drop and then get back into the box quick enough.
Stay in the box. Just stay around the area and around the box, and people will find you. People will get you the ball. You don't need to drop deep and link up play. There was a point where he dropped so deep, he was in our half on the left wing, and he had acres of space to run into, and he received the ball, I think it was from Luke Shaw, and instead of old Ronaldo turns and fucking runs, he took one look at the thing and then just passed it back.
Yeah.
He had all his space, and it's just
destroyed the transition.
It's just you ruined the entire counter-attack, and it's just if you haven't got the pace to do that and to run, don't come back that deep. Stay up top. People fight. It's frustrating for me. For me, he's 5.5. I hate being shitty to Cristiano Ronaldo because of everything he's done in the game and how good of a player he is and what he's done for United and stuff. But he just isn't good enough for what we need right now. He isn't the striker we need. He isn't the level that I think still thinks he is.
Yeah.
He's dropped off really harshly. And I know there's going to be Ronaldo FC out there coming for me going but just watch these games this season and watch this game in particular. People have said the other one, he didn't get any service. He had so much service today. He had 4 or 5 mega chances. If old Ronaldo last year buries 3 of them, at least. Harry Kane buries every single one of them. Haaland buries every single one of them. Do you know what I mean? It's we need a high caliber of finisher because we create the chances and then he's not scoring them, and then we end up hanging on for a 1-0 win. And that's the problem because we can't score enough goals. If we score enough, our defensive line's so good at the minute. If we score enough goals, we're seeing games out well early and just getting it done and dusted. But because we can't score enough goals, we're relying on our really good defensive line, and it's just nerve-wracking for the last 10 minutes because you know what team like West Ham's going to do? Height in the box, just pile the ball in and just see what you can get and scramble a goal. Like one of my best mates, Arthur. I don't know if you're watching Arthur, but he's a West Ham fan, and he literally said to me, "I'll look at the text now. Let me find the text." He says, "Mate, Moyes hasn't won a league away game against the Big Six in 20 years. He does this every time. Just plays at the back and hopes for a point, presses in the last 15 and brings Antonio on," which is what they did. Last 10, 15 minutes, brought Antonio on and just pressed the fuck out of everybody and just hoped for the best. And he said, "Told you this is what we do, play for the last 10. That's what he did. And I don't understand. If we know they're going to do that, why are we making substitutions like Fred and McTominay and taking off creative players? Why not? No, they're going to press and then look for the counter and kill the game. Like, don't understand.
Well, ultimately, we got the 3 points, and it is what it is. I'd give Ronaldo a 6.
I'm nitpicking because I want this team to be the best team. I want this team to be amazing, but I'm nitpicking. We got the win.
It's getting there.
Like, we got the win. That's the important thing.
Yeah. I think the key point to make out is progression in it. We're getting there slowly but surely. The team are getting better. Individual players are looking better. And as a collective, players are chipping in, they're coming in, and they're bringing a certain level of performance, which in comparison to last season is just miles apart. So positivity. We head into the next game, Real Sociedad on Thursday. I would say Thursday night, Thursday evening, as Sam just told me. We will have a live watch along for that. We'll have a preview on the Wednesday the day before. We'll have an Instagram live tomorrow for you guys, and then on Tuesday we'll have the usual breaking news show. Make sure you lot tune in for that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and follow us on socials. All the handles are at the bottom of the graphic, or just head to the description in the video link. Anything else, Sam, you want to add on to that before we head off?
Just one last comment from Zoe's Media's House, which I think is quite apt. Rooney is our greatest ever. Debatable, but it's all about opinions. Even he recognised when his days were up and moved on. Ronaldo is nothing more than a squad player and needs to accept it. I agree with the last bit. So.
Yeah. Worrying times for CR7. Let's see what happens next couple of games. Could pull it out the bag against Sociedad. Thank you for coming on, Sam. Thank you to everyone watching, if you're watching now or watching later on. And yeah, me and Sam will see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves.
Peace.